Hey everybody, the Reeswerrel here, and welcome back to more of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Okay. Boom. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm kind of worried that I've loaded the wrong state, because this is the exact same as before, but the date's different. Hey Nick, what is it this time? You won't believe how many people are here for the trial. Well, it is a murder case. Okay, it is a different day. Whew. Yeah, God, why did they start it the same way? What are you talking about? They're here for the trial next door. Next door? Why don't you know this, Nick? They're having Detective Atmey's trial today. Detective Atmey? They say they're going to try him as Mask to Mask. Already? That was fast. Boy, I'd love to see Master Mask's trial. I know. By the way, where's Pearls? Oh, she went back home. She said she can't neglect her training anymore. I know you don't like me. Oh. It's Ron. Pearls has really gotten into her training lately, huh? Yeah, ever since that incident last year. There we go. Please, don't ignore me! Oh, Mr. Delight. Good morning. No one likes me. No one would notice me even if I killed someone. Come on, don't be silly. Wait a sec. You don't mean you're the murderer? No. I'm just a poor thief. No, wait, that's not right. A thief can't really be poor? Oh, right, I see. Now, let's see. According to Mr. Delight, from his second crime on, he was following a bunch of set plans. Plans that someone had been sending to him to help him commit the heists. Do you think there's a connection between the thief and the murder, Nick? It's possible. But today's trial is a race against the clock. Huh? How come? Let's just take our time like always. I'm afraid that's not an option. Anyway. Courtroom number 6. How many courtrooms do they have? I love how they're all identical too. It's just really nice. Court is now in session for the trial of Mr. Ron Delight. The defense is ready, Your Honor. I'm turning up my volume, Your Honor. You are ready? Preparation is the last refuge of the weak. Damn. Okay, settle down, everyone. Let's begin with your opening statement, Mr. Godot. Godot, even. Godot! He's got the judge in the palm of his hands. Yet again. Ron Delight is simply too young to be sent to war. That's all. I'm afraid I have no idea what that means, Mr. Godot. I keep wanting to call him Godot. Huh, then you need to get out more, Your Honor. Life is war, but that is exactly why you must be more precise in your wording. Oh! That's all my statement means? You understand now, right? Yes, well then. Let me briefly summarize the details of this case. Wow, the judge is taking charge like he knows what's going on for a change. The victim is Kane Bullard, CEO of KB Security. His body was found in a safe at approximately 9 AM on the morning of the 13th. However, the time of death was estimated as 1 AM of the previous day. And that's when our little lost kitten dropped the ball. That little lost kitten is, of course, the defendant. Oh, snap. Very well then, Mr. Godot. Please call your first witness. I never drink more than 17 cups of coffee during any given trial. But the first one is always the best. Mr. Godot, your witness. Okay then, let's hear what the defendant, Mr. Ron Delight, has to say for himself. The defendant? Well, Mr. Wright, does the defense have any objections? Maybe a bit of a disadvantage having the defendant testify, but... I remember when Mia was defending me. She allowed me to testify so she could do the cross-examination. She put a lot of trust in me back then. Hey, it's calling back to the first case. We have no objections, Your Honor. The defense will allow Mr. Delight to testify. Huh. You've got guts, Trite. I love how he keeps calling him Trite. Alright then, Mr. Ron Delight, please take the stand. Ooh! Oh, the music. Ba, 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 ba. You did it, didn't you? Yes. What? No. That's not true. Okay, this guy's all over the place. For a moment there, I thought we'd set the record for the shortest trial ever. Well, Mr. Delight already looks plenty guilty with that face he's making. And once he opens his big mouth, he'll probably put the last nail in his own coffin. Very well. Now then, can you tell me something? If you didn't kill Bullard, why did you go to KB Security? Well, That's kinda hard to say. Boy, I wish I could go home. Oh, poor Ronnie. Now then, let's hear some testimony about what happened. Witness, testify. Do it! My visit to KB Security. That evening around 1 AM, I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. I'd been working for KB Security until a year ago, so I knew where his office was. Wait, that was it? 1 AM. The exact time the murder took place. I'm waiting for the weak get washed away by the tides of fate. The strong drink it up. Just like a nice brew of coffee. It's bitter today, too, just like my destiny. You'd never know that from the way he's chugging it down. Mr. Wright, your cross examination, if you please. You got it. My visit to KB Security. You don't really have much to say. I went to see Mr. Bullard in his office at KB Security. Why? Why did you? I really shouldn't push him too much. 1 AM, huh? You're absolutely sure about that? Yes. That's what my watch said when I was entering the CEO's office. No. Actually, I'm not really sure. My watch was slow, and my internal clock was also a bit. 1 AM, that's the exact time the victim, Mr. Bullard, was murdered, correct? It's too late for a coffee date, that's for sure. The blackmail letter I got, it ordered me to go there. Pressing on that is probably pertinent to continuing. So, I'm curious if I should... Oh, working in KB Security until a year ago, so... yeah, whatever. Actually, no, I will. I'll press this. You used to be a security chief for KB Security, right? Yes, that's right. The security chief? You? And yet, a year ago, you were fired without notice. Revenge for an old grudge. A perfect motive for murder, wouldn't you say? This isn't good. Maybe I should change the subject. Should we just ask why he was fired? I mean, I don't really think it'd matter. Yeah, why? Why was you fired? Mr. Delight, please tell us why you were fired from your job. Well, the world is filled with those who have said, I wish I had never asked that. Okay, then I take it back. Defendant, please answer the question. Well, I needed money. You needed money. Oh, he stole. Well, you see, Desi loved to spend it. It's kind of her hobby. Not exactly the best hobby in the world, huh, Nick? My salary wasn't nearly enough, so I stole data from the company. Oh. Come again. KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies. And since I was a security team chief, you stole some data and sold it. Mr. Bullard found out and I was fired immediately. Wow! I wish I'd never asked that. I was somehow able to keep it secret and made it seem like I'd quit on my own. What is it, Nick? You don't look so good. Someone who brings harm to their company is fired as punishment. You did well to remember that. You sure told you. So you admit that you stole data from your company, is that correct? Yes, I'm sorry. It's a very important fact. Please add it to your testimony. Oh man, this whole thing just took a big turn for the worse. Crashed and blew up. It's gonna take the jaws of life to rip this case from the clutches of disaster. Jeez. You fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. I'm working, blah... yeah, okay. It ordered you there. It was the first time I'd gotten a blackmail letter that ordered me to go somewhere. Does that mean you've gotten other blackmail letters then? Oh, of course. They'd say things like, steal this or take that. Why don't you save those for later, Mr. Delight? Please don't say any more. Now, what should I do? Prayers harder. So what did the blackmail letter in question say? It said to bring $50,000. Money, eh? The perfect motive for committing murder. Oh, but wait. I never intended to pay that money anyway. Oh? Is that right? After all, he had nothing to hold over my head. I had nothing to be afraid of. An important point indeed. Witness, let's have that added to your testimony. They said have that data. Yes, sir. Huh. A muddy mud skipper in outer space has a better chance of surviving than I do. Random thing to say. Also, I think I should probably disable low latency mode on OBS. I'm not entirely sure how to say your username. But thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. The blackmail thread didn't scare me. It wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. Okay. So we learnt about him selling company secrets. Fired me for selling company secrets. Thanks. It's been really nice so far. It's a pretty cool site too. Fired me for selling company secrets, but Desi doesn't know about that. And thanks for the donations. An ice cream and a lemon. So we've got why he was fired. Oh wait, no, profiles. Where's Desi? Actually, wait. Blackmail thread didn't scare me, it wasn't going to cause me trouble or anything. I think it would. So he is scared, he's just pretending that he isn't. I object. Yeah, that's true. I'll be sure to do it when I have... well, when I'm not streaming myself. More so. Mr. Light, what you said just now doesn't match what you told me yesterday. Huh? What doesn't? I think you must have been scared. Very scared. Of having a certain person find out your secret. Oh... a certain person? His wife. Of course. No, I think I've got it all figured out, to be honest. Or at least, I don't have any questions that come to mind, but thanks for the offer. Miss Desiree Delight, the defendant's wife. But listen to me, my Desi, she really likes money, we know that. Looks like if I just sit back and relax, the fun will end before it truly begins. Godot! Yes, we know, it was all your wife's fault. What do you mean? Mr. Delight stole company data to pay for his wife's spending habit, for which he was fired. Unable to face his own wife, someone used his dirty little secret to blackmail him. And that is how this murder came about. Oh, great. Everything is falling neatly into place for him. It's like a game of Tetris for Godot. What a dude. Don't talk about my Desi like that. Oh, you'll be sorry. Ah, Ron, you're a pushover. I mean, how could anybody think he could commit the murder? Have you seen him? Thievery, maybe. Well, it seems that we've learned a great deal of things here so far. What do you think, Nick? Didn't think it was possible to get so thoroughly whipped in just 20 minutes. Clearly there was sufficient motive for murder. He stole data for his wife, and he killed to protect his secret. A family man who cared just a little too much. The motive is clear, let's move on. But it's not, man. What happened at the crime scene at 1 in the morning, Mr. Delight? Come now, tell us. How the hell did his coffee not go everywhere? We're all ears. Oh right, so we have another testimony. I didn't even get to debunk the other. Well, actually, technically I did with Desi's profile. At the CEO's office. So when I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. We actually got to see it, didn't we? Look at me! It's quite obvious, really. Suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. When I came to, Mr. Bullard was lying there, dead. Oh, he hid the body, that's right. I was like, I thought he was in the safe. I see, suddenly hit on the forehead, huh? I believe the detective from yesterday provided similar testimony. He said that Mask to Mask struck him on the head from behind. Of course, since Atme turned out to be the culprit himself, that was all a lie. Huh. No one's going to believe a pathetic lie like that. Yeah, I wonder. Zvarie. If only it popped up with that, it would have been perfect. What are you saying? I really was attacked. We'll find out if what you say is true or not during the cross-examination. Got that, Mr. Trite? Don't go easy just because he's your client. Psh, why would I do that? If I see any sign that you are, I'll treat you to another cup of my special blend. Oh, please don't throw it over me. You don't need to worry about that, Mr. Godot. Godot. Jesus. I keep switching between how I say his name. I have faith in Ron. I know he didn't do it. I think. No, it's pretty obvious he didn't. It was at me. Look at me. At the CEO's office. So when I entered the office, there was a suspicious shadow there. Did he say anything? Anything like Zvare? So who was this suspicious shadow? I don't know, it was dark. If there was a thousand of me, if even one knew, I'd tell you, trust me. His dodging all of our questions is not helping win his case. Okay, then how was the victim Mr. Bullard at the time? What do you mean by how was he? Was he already dead? Was he still alive? Maybe he was the one who hit you in the first place. That's a good question. What do you think, Mr. Wright? Forget it. Suddenly I was hit on the forehead. After that, I remember being a bit dazed. Okay. I mean, it's such a cool animation though. He just puts his hand down and it just slides across. So, your forehead? Yes, I was hit on the forehead as soon as I entered the room. Although to be fair, it makes sense, because where the hell would the cups come from? The desks, or whatever they are, that they're stood at, aren't exactly very long. So that you just have somebody stood at the end of it pouring coffee and just shooing them along. That's an amazing image. It was an amazingly fast and powerful attack. Do you remember anything about who hit you? Well, like I said, it was a fast and powerful hit. So I think I was a little dazed for a while. I don't think Mr. Delight even grasped what you were asking. Yeah, I'd like to show him a fast and powerful attack myself. Maybe that would knock some sense back into him. I love how we've got to the point where we went to beat the shit out of our witness. Our client, not witness. If I hadn't been wearing that, I would have been killed. Wearing what? That? Could you please clarify what you are referring to? Why, my Mask to Mask costume, of course. Oh! Wait just a moment. Mask to Mask? Huh? Oh, did I forget to mention it before? It's me! Just to be on the safe side, I dressed as Mask to Mask. Oh. And then I just ended up on the office of the CEO of KB Security. What? Clever. Nick, did you know about this? He never told me this. I don't recall him ever mentioning it to me either. Even I didn't know that. It seems our little friend really loves to keep secrets. I'm sorry, I just never had a chance to mention it up until now. Wait. That's not right. You know how sometimes things just slip your mind? Huh. My 6th cup of coffee is staring up at me coldly. Oh no, I let it go cold! At any rate, we can't ignore this new piece of information. Jesus. It's just going all over the place. Witness, please correct your testimony. Ugh. I'd have been killed if I hadn't been wearing my Master Mask costume. Okay. But why? Unless... maybe he dressed as Master Mask because he thought that the blackmail was his identity, because he still thinks he is Master Mask. Why were you dressed as Master Mask? Why, because I'm Master Mask, of course. What are you talking about? Master Mask's trial is being held next door. Ah, yes, I guess so. Anyway, at that time, I thought I was being blackmailed over the Master Mask issue. There we go. So I thought I should go as him, just to be safe. Ah boy. Let me tell you, it's a real pain to move around with that cape. That's why it took a lot longer than I'd expected. Took a lot longer? What is he talking about? Wait and see, or press harder. Press harder. What do you mean by took a lot longer? Oh, opening the safe, of course. Wait, why did that take longer? Wait. What? My cape got caught in the safe door, you see. This all happened when I was hiding Mr. Bullard's body. What was that? Back up a second. Yes. You were the one that hid The body in the safe? Oh, well, yeah. Inconceivable! He's really not helping himself, is he? Why? Just why? What reason could you have? What were you thinking? I think Rondelite might be the only client that does not help the case at all. If anything, he only makes it worse whenever he opens his mouth. Question. Why does someone toss their dirty shorts in the washing machine? What? The answer is simple. Coffee. When they take them off. As usual, I have no idea what you're saying. Do you mean that Mr. Delight hit the body because he's the murderer? Huh. So you're not as stupid as you look. His metaphor this time was really obscure. That's Godot. Mr. Wright, you don't mean that you knew about this whole safe business, do you? Well, yes. Why am I the only one not in the loop here? I mean, you found out now. Witness, make sure you add this to the testimony. Yes, sir. Uh-oh. Looks like a storm front is moving in over the fair weather judge. Ah, Christ. I panicked and hid the body in the safe. It took about 10 minutes. Okay. Wait, hang on. I need to check evidence. I don't know if I have anything, to be honest. I've still got all of this case that's not really... Well, you'd think it wouldn't be relevant anymore, but what do I know? Was a record. Oh, it can't have taken 10 minutes. Because that went off at 1:02, so it was... Like, literally, it took 2 minutes, if anything. Okay, maybe he knocked into it? I have no idea. You're wrong! Your Honor, could you please take a look at this record? And what might this be? The record for the emergency buzzer that connects the CEO's office to security. If the button in the office is pressed, a security team is supposed to come running. And according to this record, the buzzer was pushed once at 1:02 AM. What? I love how that's used so much throughout this game. What? If Mr. Rondelite truly was the murderer, he would have ran as soon as that buzzer sounded. After all, a security guard would have been headed his way. Huh, let's remember who we're dealing with here. He probably had no idea there was security personnel in the building, but he would because he worked there. Up until 1 year ago, my client was working as a chief of security. There's no way he wouldn't have known about them. Oh my god, we're going back and forth, this is the best. But as it turns out, the guard never came. That was nothing more than a coincidence. The fact that the guard was a pathetic loser, my god, who had just gotten punched in the face by his ex's new boyfriend, and wasn't anywhere in the vicinity was not something Mr. Delight could have known. So the reason... Oh right, I see what we were getting at now. It went off at 1:02, but if he was knocked out, he wouldn't have heard it. Again, remember who we're dealing with here. It's a sure bet that Mr. Delight didn't even notice the buzzer going off. I mean, he probably didn't if he was unconscious. This buzzer is extremely loud. There is no way he could have ignored something like that. If he had been conscious, that is. There we go. Conscious? What do you mean by that? Oh! That coffee is quite literally like a healing herb for Godot. Just takes one sip and he's back to full health. Fine, let's hear your theory. Remember the defendant's testimony? The moment he entered the victim's office, someone attacked him. Mr. Delight said he felt dazed. I'm willing to wager that he was knocked unconscious for at least a few minutes. Unconscious? So he fainted? That's why Mr. Delight didn't know that the buzzer had sounded. And that's why he thought he had time to hide the body. So what are you trying to say? Mr. Delight was knocked out, and the buzzer went off soon afterwards. Now unless my client was able to hit the buzzer while he was unconscious, it can only mean that there was another person in that room. That's right, whoever it was... Wait, whoever it was knocked out. Oh right, I don't know why that didn't make sense to me. Right, whoever it was knocked out Rondelite and pressed the buzzer. Yeah, I was reading that like 3 times. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Order in the court. Mr. Wright, this is objection. This is preposterous. It was this kid. Rondelite is the one who killed Kane Bullard. But you're wrong. Then who pressed the buzzer? It was... Man, seeing him stutters strange. The victim, of course, but he was already dead. He pressed the buzzer when the defendant attacked him. He didn't die right away. He must have held on long enough to push that button. He can't have. No fingerprints. So Cain Bullard sounded the buzzer himself. What's your opinion on this, Mr. Wright? I need to prove that the real criminal was there at the scene, but how? Can I prove that it wasn't Cain Bullard who sounded the buzzer? I can prove it. Yeah, of course. You present the buzzer. It has no fingerprints on it. I'm hoping that's in the description of it. The defense's opinion is this, Your Honor. This piece of evidence proves that it wasn't the victim who sounded the buzzer. Up, there it is. There are no fingerprints on it. Boom! I believe this is the piece of incontrovertible evidence you were looking for. The emergency buzzer. Is there some kind of clue on it? Absolutely not. Hey, come on now. At least give some thought to what you say before opening your mouth. The fact that there are absolutely no clues is itself the clue. Now I'm the one who's clueless. This button has no fingerprints on it. If Mr. Bullard had really pressed it himself, naturally he would have left his fingerprints behind. Oh! Objection! Rhonda Light obviously wiped them off. He was unconscious. Why would he? A guard could have come in at any moment. He touched that button, I know he did. The defendant, Mr. Delight, was dressed as Master Mask. He would have been wearing gloves. And Master Mask always wears gloves. What reason could he possibly have had to wipe the button free of fingerprints? There's also another person that always wears gloves. Order, order, order. When I say it like that, it sounds really weird. It would seem I was wrong. I've been forced to eat crow. Wonder what blend number crow flavoured coffee is. However, if the real killer was there at the scene, why would that person press the emergency buzzer? To frame him? Shouldn't they have run away without putting themselves in extra danger? I don't know yet. What's with this awkward silence all of a sudden? Huh. Looks like you're fresh out of parlour tricks. They're onto you, Nick. Just give me a minute to collect my thoughts. The real culprit killed Mr. Bullard at around 1 AM. And Mr. Delight just happened to waltz in when the murder was taking place, right? The killer clobbered Mr. Delight and then sounded the buzzer. Even though security was supposed to respond right away if the buzzer was pressed, security was supposed to respond. Time's up, Mr. Wright. Let's hear what you have to say. Very well then. Ho-ho! You got some guts. I like that in an opponent. Why did the real killer sound the emergency buzzer? Okay, so to find out what it did. Yeah, sure. Big red button, what'd it do? They didn't mean to. Call a security guard. The killer knew that if they pressed that button, a guard would come running. And that was exactly what they wanted. Do you mean to say the killer called the guard on purpose? Yes. Although as it turned out, he never showed up. Because he was getting his clock cleaned at the time. Huh. What a touching story. You're saying the killer had a change of heart and called the guard to turn himself in? No, to frame. They always never get it. No, I'm not. When that buzzer sounded, there were 3 people in our office. The victim, Cain Bullard, who was already dead. The defendant, Rhonda Light, who was out cold. And the murderer. The third person, the real killer. I wonder how many people would not be able to tell who that was. Even from the silhouette, it's incredibly obvious. Hypothetically, yes. Now then. In this situation, if the real killer made an escape, what would happen? The only ones left in the room would be the victim and Rhonda Light. And if any security guards came running in at that time, they would think that I was the murderer. Yes, that was precisely the real killer's objective. To frame Rhonda Light for the murder. Oh! It's always something. Like he took his time to take a drink and then spit it out. What a waste of coffee. Order, order, order. It would seem... How many? Oh my god, I lost count. I've been made to eat my words once again. Actually, you've been made to do a spit take with a cup of coffee. But Mr. Wright, who was it? Who was it that tried to frame me? Wait. Wait a second. I'm the one and only Master Mask. So... Nick, you mean the real killer is... We're gonna drag that person in here right now. But who is it? I don't have any solid proof yet, but think about it. The real killer knew Mr. Delight's identity. And they also knew that he had been called to KB security that night. So the killer used him to execute a well-crafted plan to murder Cain Bullard. Now then, let's hear your accusation, Mr. Wright. Who was it that framed Mr. Ron Delight for the murder of Cain Bullard? Pretty obvious, although I do want to see this. Godot. Prosecutor who is shrouded in mystery. Right, anyway. It's at me! Luke at me! There we go. Detective Luke at me. He's the only one who could have done it. Ace Detective. Luke at me. You mean Master Mask did it? Your Honor, the person being tried in the court next to us is not Master Mask at all. He is, in actuality, the true murderer of Cain Bullard. And technically, Ron Delight actually is Mask to Mask. He did the first heist as Mask to Mask. Order, order! Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Theft and murder. Which is the more serious crime? They're not even close. Murder is the more serious crime, of course. It's a capital crime subject to a capital punishment. Please remember the trial from yesterday, if you would. When he broke down. When Luke Atme confessed, there was a huge commotion in the courtroom. Of course, a famous detective was unmasked as, well, as Master Mask. Instead of being convicted of murder, he was found guilty of grand larceny. That was his true objective all along. To be found guilty, Master Mask had the perfect alibi for when the murder took place. He was stealing the urn at Lordly Taylor. In other words, being found guilty as Master Mask was Luke Atme's airtight, watertight and unassailable alibi. A guilty verdict. As an alibi? Wait, what's happening now? Oh. You know, it's almost time. For what? For Luke Atme's verdict. It was a pretty simple trial after all. If we're gonna stop this trial and stall that one, we need to do it now. Of course. That's assuming you have proof that the detective was the one who committed the murder. Oh dear. Mr. Luke Atme's trial has indeed attracted the attention of the entire country. If we were to intrude and failed to provide adequate proof of his true crime, Mr. Delight would be left with no grounds for appeal. Am I really sure about this? Huh. A bet's only good when your life's at the ante. Mr. Wright, I believe in you. Mr. Delight. So, please. I'm begging you. We don't have proof though, do we? Thanks, but my decision will determine the rest of your life. Can I really risk your life like this? Oh god. Phoenix. It's Mia! What was that? Don't stray, Phoenix. For your client, take the path of trust. That voice. It sounded like... Mia. Your Honor, the defense requests an immediate recess. Whoa, okay. So that's your answer, huh? Very well. I've decided as well. This court will now take a 20-minute recess. Mr. Wright, when we return, please summon Mr. Luke Atme to the stand. Yes, Your Honor. Hey! We didn't need to provide proof. I are shocked. Kinda surprised. More than anything. Oh, it's Payne. Wait, what? Well, Sir Detective Atme? Is he gonna break out again? I have to say, Mr. Payne, you performed splendidly. Oh no, Sir Detective Atme. You were the one who... Oh my god, to be a judge in this world, do you have to look like that? Every judge looks the same, he's just, like, younger. That's enough. This court sees no reason to further prolong this trial. This court finds the defendant, Luke at me. Uh-oh. Hold it! Oh, wait. I was taking the piss. Okay, so wait. Don't hand down your verdict yet, please. Well, well, Sir Lawyer. Welcome to my courtroom. Who's this hoser, eh? My name is Phoenix Wright, attorney at law. And I wish to file an accusation against this man, Luke at me. Accusation? You accuse Master Mask? That man is not Mask the Mask. He's just a ruthless murderer. What? Ooh! Look at that sweat dripping off his nose. Damn. To be continued. Okay, not bad. Of course I want to save, are you kidding? Sheesh. I think that's Justice for All's song. It's like I could be wrong though. Either way. Boom. My sis? I could have sworn I heard Mia's voice. So then she's still alive? Inside your heart. Nicky boy! Oh, Mr. Light. Is it true that Detective is the real killer? To be honest, we don't have any definitive proof. But he's the only one who could have done it. But wasn't he at Lordly Taylor that night? Not to mention, we don't exactly know his motive. I mean, why would Detective Atme want to kill Kane Bullard? Oops, it's almost time. Better get back to the courtroom. Need to find some solid proof. It's gotta happen sooner rather than later. This isn't good. Oh dear. Either way. We're back! Now then, this court is back in session. Mr. Luke at me, please take the stairs.